Show me.
I'm the martial arts film freak, and I watched Batman Soul of the Dragon.
What was that back there? The mask?
It's a way to keep my lives separate. I can't think of the last time we saw each other.
I bet you can remember the last time. The first time, too.
I'm eager to learn.
They all say that. Ben Turner, Richard Dragon, Shiva. Disciplined, honorable. She's very dedicated.
Batman Soul of the Dragon is a 2021 straight-to-home video VOD Blu-ray film, the latest in the DC animated films that have been going for almost a decade now. Up and down in, quality, but typically some form of good. This is the latest one, came out this year, directed by Sam Liu, who has directed a handful of these movies, starring, I'm going to list off some people here because there's some good names in the voice cast. Good names here. I've got David Gintoli as Batman / Bruce Wayne. Of course, it always has to be / We know. Why do you have to say / Bruce Wayne? We know who he is. Mark Dacascos as Richard Dragon. Definitely not just Bruce Lee. Richard Dragon. Kelly Hu as Lady Shiva. Michael Jai White as Ben Turner, aka Bronze Tiger. James Hong as O-Sensei. Eric Bauza as just an Axe Gang leader. And then Jamie Chung as Jade. A couple other people here, but those I think are the real big ones. Other than that, you get your standard fare of excellent voice talent that you see in any cartoon. The film is about a cult, the Cobra cult, who finds this sword, this ancient sword, magic sword that will open a gate to this Cobra snake demon guy. And once this cult has this sword, all these people who trained under this master, under O-Sensei, must come back together to retrieve the sword and save the world. And all of his students being Shiva, Richard Dragon, Batman, Bruce Wayne, Ben Turner, Bronze Tiger, and a couple others. And it's a fun romp of characters and kung fu, and it takes place in the 70s. This is a very stylistic-wise blaxploitation kung fu film. This was one I was randomly excited about. I always enjoy the DC animated films. I have a good handful of them on Blu-ray. I've loved them since Flashpoint Paradox, Justice League War, all those first ones. And the action in some of them can be really good. Not just the superhero stuff, not just, the powers, but genuinely the choreography in these movies can be fantastic. One of my favorites is Batman versus Robin. I think the final fight scene between Batman and Talon is wonderful. And this is a movie that, when you think of the movies I was excited for 2021, this was not one that came to mind. But as soon as I saw the trailer, I heard the voice cast, I knew it was like, oh, this is going to be fun. And it is fun. It is definitely from the intro music to like the credit sequence with all the bright colors. It is definitely some blaxploitation style stuff. And it's fun to see sort of this Bruce Lee character playing alongside Batman and Bronze Tiger, but Bronze Tiger is definitely made out to look more like Jim Kelly. And even if you look honestly at this cover right here, like, that's definitely, I know you can't see it, but that's definitely Jim Kelly. That's definitely supposed to be Bruce Lee. It's just fun. Batman fighting alongside like a Jim Kelly and a Bruce Lee is always a really cool sort of sight to see. The story is it's not anything groundbreaking. It isn't just them sort of having to stop the bad guys. They have to recruit each other. They have to find each other before they can go into battle. And as they find each other, you see the backstory of that person's experience training with their master, training in this place where they were all at. You see all of their sort of background and sort of what drives them. I always enjoy Bronze Tiger. Bronze Tiger is this character, from what I've seen. I haven't read much of him in the comics, but everything I've seen of him in other media, has him as sort of this anti-hero. He is a villain. He does do bad things, but every now and again he has this good intention that sort of shows his heart, and that makes him more of an interesting character to me. Bruce Wayne is actually, Batman is one of the weaker parts of the story. Everyone is something a bit more interesting. Bruce Wayne has some areas where he does something slightly interesting, I guess, but he is sort of just there as our conduit in this story. We are following with Bruce Wayne as him and Richard Dragon are collecting the other members of the team. And he's fine, he's good, but we're definitely pretty much just here for Lady Shiva, Richard Dragon, and Bronze Tiger, and then Batman is just kind of also there. But how is that action? How is the action in this blaxploitation kung fu DC animated movie? A loud ass vehicle is driving by like a son of a bitch. What's the point of that? It's almost midnight. Who does that at midnight? Let's talk more about this movie. As I said, there are some fantastic examples of fight choreography in animation, even outside of the DC stuff. I think of the recent the last episodes of Star Wars Clone Wars. The fight between Ahsoka and Darth Maul was incredible. You'd think, of course, of like Avatar: The Last Airbender. The kung fu in that show is gorgeous. And while I definitely enjoyed a lot of the stuff in here, I don't think as much effort was actually put into the choreography, even as much as something like Batman vs. Robin. You can tell in something like Batman vs. Robin that they were animating off of reference, which is something similar to what Avatar: The Last Airbender did. Avatar: The Last Airbender had somebody perform the movements on what they thought the characters would do with their style and with their background. And then once they had video of a performer, of a martial artist doing these movements, the animator, the artist, the drawers would, animate based off what they've seen, what this person's doing. And similar stuff was done with Batman vs. Robin. I don't think that really happened much here. This just sort of seemed like they animated fight scenes from scratch, which there's definitely some good stuff, some fun references, but not as good as it would have been if they had a reference. It is fun to hear Michael Jai White be Bronze Tiger, especially since it is blaxploitation. He is sort of mixing his Bronze Tiger character from Arrow with his Black Dynamite. It's mostly just because he's got that 70s jive talk that he has in Black Dynamite with his Bronze Tiger. It's just fun. Michael Jai White is fun in that era. I think he has a lot of, because I think Michael Jai White grew up with that, was raised on blaxploitation films, so I think he likes sort of playing along in that world. The Bruce Lee references are fun. There's not a lot. The movie does not go crazy with its Bruce Lee, which is good. You don't want it to like do the noises and do a lot of the stuff. He pretty much just does the standard fare. He flicks his nose one time, he does the stance, and then he gets a 1-inch punch in, which was pretty glorious. It doesn't go crazy with it. I had fun with the martial arts here. Like I said, it's not as good as some older stuff that I've seen, but for animated fight scenes, you're gonna have fun if you just sit in this world with the 70s and kung fu. It's just fun. Let's give this a final score. I'm gonna go. Let's go. I'm thinking. I'm gonna go 3 1/4 snake arm bad guys out of 5. There's a bad guy with snakes for arms. It's fun. It's a very fun movie. I think that if you just enjoy your kung fu stuff, you're gonna have fun with this. But also, if you have that, knowledge of your blaxploitation stuff, then you're gonna have a blast with this. It's not great. It's not the best DC animated movie. I think that somebody who probably isn't as much into kung fu stuff is probably not going to enjoy this as much, but if you're on this channel and you're probably a fan of the kung fu, of the martial arts, and a little bit of the blaxploitation, I think you're going to have a blast with this. I think it's definitely worth watching. It's definitely worth checking out, at least maybe renting online somewhere. If it ever pops up on HBO Max like a lot of DC stuff does, watch it over there. Check it out. It is worth it. Thank you so much for watching. What did you think of Batman Soul of the Dragon? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Head over to Facebook, where there is the Martial Arts Film Freak Facebook page, Instagram, Martial Arts Film Freak over there, Tristan_Glover on Twitter, on the Twitter, as I, for some reason, tend to call it often. I gotta do one more review, and then maybe do a watch along. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.